Welcome to Logistics Training Part 3 of 5. Once your new orders have been placed into the system, take notice that you are currently in the planning stage. Planning is an important part of the process as it sets the state for proper functionality. To begin with, we will make some general assumptions about this business. While it won't be a specific case study, it is based on what we believe to be the real world. The example will be a cannabis delivery business. We have 19 new orders for delivery today that came in yesterday. We will continue to get orders during the day today for delivery today. We will also get orders today for delivery tomorrow. We have 5 rechargeable GPS units we can move from one vehicle to another as our delivery personnel use their own vehicles. We deliver from 9 in the morning to 9 in the evening. The maximum distance we will deliver is 30 miles from our dispensary. Last and extremely important is that we need to show the board of directors and/or our investors what we will accomplish with this logistics feature will be more efficient and put more profit on the bottom line. Using our software, our starting point for delivery and our ending point following a route delivery will be referred to as a warehouse. It should be noted that you can have more than one warehouse from which your delivery personnel would work. For the record, our software also allows for the option to start a delivery process without a warehouse. However, in most states, with regards to cannabis, the law requires that cannabis be delivered only from the approved dispensary or warehouse, and at the end of a route, verification that the unit returned to the dispensary. If you open the settings option, you will notice the toolbar at the top. The order parameters are important. In the general section, you have several values to consider. While most are self-explanatory, the radius is the distance you set so that it automatically acts as a trigger to let the dispatcher know that an order was confirmed. The backup is, of course, the driver must also confirm delivery. In the notification section, you should use both phone and email. As you move across the toolbar to warehouses, you will want to use your dispensary as a warehouse. For now, we just call the warehouse Dispensary 1. Remember the phone number, and as a reminder, place it in an international format starting with +1 for the United States. Next, your address, working hours and military time, and an average unload time for your deliveries. For now, I put 8 minutes. For a tag, I just used RX as a symbol for medical delivery. You can also filter your orders by tags and title them whatever you want. For example, you could tag all the bud products buds, wax products wax, baked products baked, accessories, and so on. Possibly you were structured to have one delivery person that delivered all wax, another all bud product, etc. Now, from a logistics and functionality perspective, that does not make a lot of sense, but I wanted you to see my point relevant to how tag filtering might be used. Attached units is very important. In the example, I made the assumption you had 4 of our rechargeable units and 1 smartphone you were using as a unit. As you recall, we put the 4 rechargeable GPS units into the system when you purchased them, so you didn't need to worry about provisioning the systems. That is part of our service. In this example case, you would most likely attach all 5 units, 4 rechargeable plus a smartphone, to the warehouse. That does not mean you assign all 5 units to your orders every day. If you only had 10 orders to start your delivery for the day, you would most likely only assign 1 delivery unit to the existing orders and another for your standby orders, depending what time frame the orders were required for delivery. The logistics software does the coordination for you. Let's say that out of the 10 orders, 7 were for morning delivery and 3 were scheduled for late afternoon,
as that is the only time the client can be home to receive the order. In that case, if there are other units that the timetable can accommodate through other routing, the software may not assign the 3 afternoon deliveries to the morning unit. To assign, you simply click on Attached Units, and you will see all the units you have on your system. All you need to do is select the ones on the left that are available and move them to the right side of the block where they will be attached and click Save. As you know, you can set up geofences in the monitoring and tracking section of your platform. While they are generally used as notification triggers to let you know when someone enters or leaves a certain area, you can also use geofences for logistics management in your delivery area. Let's assume you own a dispensary in Temecula, California. You can set the parameters for the geofence around Temecula and other surrounding communities that you feel fall into your delivery zone. Let's assume you have made a business decision not to deliver outside those geofenced areas. When you choose to only deliver in the geofenced area, the logistics program runs your routes and only places the orders that fall in the geofenced area in your delivery queue, and of course in the most efficient way to deliver your product. It will, however, leave the orders that fall outside the geofence on the map for your identification. That way, you may want to notify the customer and explain that they are outside your standard delivery area, and as such there is additional charge, etc. I'm not here to help set your business policy, but you see the point. With regards to geofences that you want to set up for your delivery area, keep in mind you are not required to use them. You name them, create them, and save them. These will then show up as available, and you just attach them by moving them to the right column as saved. As we mentioned, the planning layout is critical. You will find this section very intuitive. First is distribution optimization. In this section, you will notice the routing provider is set. Leave it as is. You will notice the speed index from slow to fast, one for inside the city and one for outside the city. If all your deliveries were by bicycle inside the city, you might reduce the speed index to slow or around 0.1. If by scooter, possibly a 0.6 or 7. By car in the city, a X1, meaning normal. This allows for the algorithm to be more efficient in or outside the city with regards to timing. You have the same flexibility when traveling outside the city. As you recall, we created one warehouse, titled it Dispensary 1. You could have created as many warehouses as you wanted in the warehouse section, but for now, you only have one warehouse, and your final warehouse will be the same. Keep in mind that you can also run your routes without warehouses. However, in the cannabis business, you must go into the dispensary every day to get your orders and fulfill those orders. If you have had a second location, you could have included it in the assigned orders to that warehouse as well. The mileage is the maximum distance you want to charge to a route and a unit. When you have 19 or 20 orders that need to be delivered in a day, and you see them on the map prior to routing, it gives you an idea as to how to structure your day. Let's say that it appears that most of the deliveries are in a tight geographical area, but you have some that are spread out and they exceed the 30 miles you stated was the maximum. If it is a day in which you only have 2 delivery vehicles available, referred to as units, you might set your parameters for 12 orders. That means that a unit or driver won't carry more than 12 orders. Why would you do this? It will make more sense when you see the actual routing take place. If you changed the orders to 8 per vehicle, just to see how the system worked, you would need 3 vehicles. We will do that for now to give you a better understanding of the sophistication of this application. Moving down to the route settings, you can have the route completed based on the last order to come in regardless of the time it comes in, or you can put a limit on the route completion time and actually put the time you want to end the route. We will leave that up to you, but we will leave it with the last order for now. Once you set these parameters up, and it only takes several minutes once you're familiar with the process, you most likely won't be changing them that often. Now we will go back to the planning section and check out the orders we put into the system. We can filter the order type by single or permanent, however we will leave them as single orders. Later you may have a lot of repeat or permanent orders that you want to keep in the system. As you look at the delivery interval, this will be today, notice there are 19 delivery orders in the system that need delivery. If you were to select back a day or two, it would bring up any orders that never were confirmed and never got delivered. If you choose to do so, you can edit those orders. Notice they have an exclamation mark next to them. You can edit them and, if necessary, move them to today's date for delivery, or you can delete them or leave them in the history archive up to 30 days. For now, we will change the delivery interval just for today's deliveries. Notice that 15 deliveries fall into the geofence area we set as our delivery area, and 4 are outside our delivery area. Next, you would choose the warehouse, which is dispensary 1. As you recall, you can also set up routes without using warehouses. This would be more for a service industry such as an electrician, for example, where an employee driver did not need to drive into his corporate office but could go to his first appointment directly from home. If you wanted the driver to report back to the office after their service work for the day, you would go to the planning settings and change the initial warehouse to without warehouse and just activate final warehouse, so the driver would come to the warehouse at the end of the day, possibly to resupply if needed. For now, we will include the initial and the final warehouse. Even though we set up a couple of geofences of which 15 of the orders fell into, you can see that 4 orders are outside the geofence. 1 down around Lake Elsinore, 1 in Corona, and 2 up in San Dimas area. The blue circles represent only 1 delivery each, as they are far enough apart not to overlap. Notice the gray circles have a number that reference the number of orders in that vicinity. When you click on them, it will break up the location by enlarging the map area in that location. The number in red represents the number of units currently located at a specific location that in this case is not one of the warehouses. Notice that as you observe the page, you have 19 orders. If we had a policy that under no circumstance would we deliver outside our service area, you would choose the geofences you set up for the delivery area. In this case, the one we titled Marietta and Wildemar, and the Temecula delivery area. Once we check those geofences, you would see that you would only have 15 orders to deliver that are in the service area, and it will not show the orders outside the service area. The other 4 orders would not show. For now, we will check none, and all 19 orders will show. There are many things you can do with geofences. For example, for this type of business, you may have added delivery fees when the delivery exceeded a certain perimeter from your warehouse, for example 6 miles, another add-on fee between 6 and 10 miles, another fee between 10 miles and 15 miles, so you would set up 3 geofences. The point is not to tell you how to run your business, but to share some of the capabilities of how we have seen others use geofence technology. Moving on down, we could also filter these orders with the tags. However, we tagged everything RX for prescriptions, so there is only 1 tag and it isn't relevant. Let's use a different example where you own a company that specializes in fixing and installing air conditioners and hot water heaters. Let's also assume you have 5 employees, of which 2 only know how to fix water heaters and 3 only know how to fix air conditioners. Now, using that example, you may have one tag for water heaters and another for air conditioners. And that way you could filter your orders to assign accordingly. At this point, let's bring this video to a close, as we realize 15 minutes is rather lengthy and it is a good place to make a transition. The next, or 4th training video using our logistics application will cover such features as routing structure, how to assign units or drivers to routes, and how drivers will use their smartphones for the delivery process. Thank you for watching.